Hello, hello, hello. I can't tell you how grateful I am that you're here. Welcome to Reclaim Your Inner Fire, our Fall Foliage Women's Camping Retreat information session. I am ecstatic. This is by far my favorite time of year. And our retreat, as you can see, will be hosted from Wednesday, October 15th through Sunday, October 19th. Technically, it's actually Thursday, but I'll talk a little more about that. And this year, we are going to be visiting the falls at Suwannee Creek in Tennessee, close to Nashville. So I'll be talking a little more about that in just a few minutes. But first and foremost, I want to share with you my story. I am the daughter of a Marine dad who loved camping. I'm pretty sure he really wanted to have boys, but instead he had girls, or at least for the first decade. And so much so, little side story. My father, I'll never forget first grade. I was so excited. I wanted a Hello Kitty, everything, the pencil case, the pencil, the backpack. And my dad says to my mom, I'll go ahead and do the shopping, the back to school shopping for the kids, except he returned with MASH Army backpacks and things. So, yeah, that was my dad. But the best part about him, of course, was that he instilled this love of camping for all of us. And he actually says that we started when I was 6 months old in a little like playpen. And since then, I have gone all over the place camping. As a matter of fact, when we were growing up, my mom really got tired of the camping. And quite frankly, my husband never liked it. We got RVs, we went everywhere. And when my dad passed away a few years ago, I felt like I needed to go back to my roots. And I sold my RV. I decided to take up my tent again. As a matter of fact, I fell in love with backcountry camping. And backcountry camping, for those of you who don't know, is you have a backpack, your tent goes in there, your food, everything has to fit in your backpack, and you're off for as long as you go camping. Everything you need stays in there. And I fall in love with that kind of challenge. Don't worry, that is not at all what this camping retreat is about. Um, Something about camping to me, my favorite part is these special connecting moments that happen around the campfire. I am so grateful, as a matter of fact, that my daughter was born with a love of camping like I do. She's my partner in crime. As a matter of fact, she just recently was invited for a JAG internship as a new attorney, or I should say, not a new attorney, as a lawyer student. And she's doing an internship there in Colorado Springs. And the first thing she tells me is, Mom, that was one of my top places that I had requested because I'm so excited that I'm going to be able to do some camping and hiking and things around in that area. So, as equally proud as I was that she got that internship, I was just as proud that I'm like, that's my girl. She's focused on the important parts of life. So, hopefully, she'll get some camping in there. All right. So, back to the retreat. Why camping? Why a camping retreat? I have to start by saying that I specialize in taking reluctant newbies. I can't tell you how many times I've had to pull the friend card and like, can you just trust me? And every single time I love to see that new joy, that new spark in newbies' eyes by the end of the retreat. There is this magic when you combine the beautiful nature, the bright starry night, and a campfire. There is a special magic that happens, and you'll see what I mean for those of you that have never been able to experience that. When you disconnect, you're able to quiet the constant chatter that goes on in our minds, and you're able to see things with a newfound clarity. When you're out there, you actually get to hear God's whispers because you are disconnected. You actually have quiet in your mind and around you. I am convinced, by the way, that there is this special force when you go camping that brings things out of you, especially around the campfire. The conversations around the campfire are deeper, they're just a lot more connected. And so you can't help but to connect through tears, through laughter, through heartfelt conversations with those women, like minded women around you. So, what can you expect on our camping retreat? For starters, you can expect obviously transportation. And I'll talk a little more about that, but we are all flying in and out of Nashville. And many of us are starting on Wednesday, but I'll explain that in a minute. We will start our retreat out of the Hampton Inn. So, transportation from the Hampton Inn to our campsite, which is about an hour and a half away from Nashville, and then transportation back to actual the airport. Okay, so your transportation's included. Your gourmet food, I can't wait till you see what I mean by gourmet food. I'm not playing around when I say gourmet food. I can even tell you that even your hamburgers are gourmet. Your sleeping arrangements, obviously, your tent, lights. If, for those of you that want cots, those of you that request cots, I include cots. I even bring sleeping bags for those of you that want it. There will be bathrooms, there will be showers. We will be going on hikes. We're going to be doing activities. I do want to make sure that I mention this. There are only 8 spots. And the reason I mention as to what you can expect an intimate group around that campfire. And then, of course, fun, laughter, tears, the most incredible special moments you definitely can expect on this retreat. Now, I'm going to go back to gourmet food for just a minute because I have to tell you how far I go with gourmet food. I literally fly with meat from my favorite meat department here in Miami, Florida. Even the mixture of ground meat for the hamburgers is very specific, high quality meats, high quality food. My favorite recipes. My favorite thing is you're going to notice the very first meal. It's usually lunch on the first day when we all sit around, we get the lunch. And I just sit there and watch. There's always somebody's like, wow, I was not expecting this delicious kind of food as we're camping. And so I will tell you the roughing part of camping ends with the tent. Like that's it. After that, all the comforts of home, all the luxuries from home, except for maybe electricity, I will be bringing and making sure that you have access to all you're going to need to bring, as you'll see when I go through our orientation list, is your toothbrush, a pillow maybe, and your change of clothes. Hiking shoes might be recommended, but other than that, everything I provide for you. All right, so let's go ahead and go through the itinerary. In the itinerary, Wednesday is the only day that is not included in the retreat. I do recommend for those of you, especially if you're flying from faraway places, depending on flight schedules, that you get there Wednesday. I will be staying in the Hampton Inn Nashville Airport. You're welcome to stay wherever you want, obviously, anywhere for those of you getting there on Wednesday. The retreat officially starts on Thursday. And we start that with an early morning pre camp meeting over breakfast at the Hampton Inn Nashville Airport. Of course, I'm going to go a little deeper into that once we have our orientation for our retreatants. But we will start with that. We have van departures at 9 a.m. and we go to the campgrounds. Obviously, everyone will have that transportation. We set up, we have lunch, we have our first impressions, we get to know the way of the land. On Friday, Friday morning, Saturday, and Sunday, you have the option of joining us for a little bit of yoga. We do some gratitude. On Friday, I just teach a little bit of camping skills. We have a little bit of a dynamic and activities going on that day. We do dinner and reflections. And then Saturday morning, we go for an early morning, again, optional morning yoga. We do gratitude. And then we go for a little bit of a hike, nothing too strenuous. I will guide you through that. We have a little survival skills activity that I love to share. Nothing, a little light, nothing too heavy. And then, of course, dinner and reflections. On Sunday, we have breakfast, we clean up, and then there's transportation and airport. So this is like it in a nutshell for itinerary. Obviously, weather depending and depending what's going on, I may move things around. What you can expect mostly is that there's going to be a lot of you time. At first, I love to watch this, and it happens to me too. You don't know what to do with the quiet. You don't know what to do with that disconnection. Like you pick up your phone, you're not even sure. But by the time you're in the second and third day, watch how, like, I don't want to go home. There's this peace and sense of clarity that goes on, that is so special to camping. We obviously we spend a lot of time, a lot of you time. We spend a lot of time around the campfire. We journal. We take nature walks. I purposely choose our site close to a water feature, and what I mean by that is usually a river. This time, definitely, we're going to have a river. We're going to have a beautiful waterfall that we will be able to visit several times. This to me is just something about water and nature, that to me brings it all together. So, all right. So, what exactly is included in when you register for a retreat? So the transportation from Nashville to our campground, and from our campground back to the airport, your transportation is included. Obviously, your tent, all sleeping gear. I even bring pillows for those of you that don't want to bring your own pillow. I will always recommend a pillow because some of us like to bring our own sleeping gear. For those of you that want a cot and request a cot, I will make sure that that I provide that for you. All camping equipment, cooking equipment, everything having to do with a campgrounds, I will be providing that for you. Your obviously your gourmet meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. You That will be included. We also will be providing these retreat goodies, and you'll have a little surprise packet in your sleeping area. Um, Being guided along the hike. Okay, I also provide that obviously in the retreats and all the activities and journaling, and I do a lot of reflections, and so you'll see what I mean by that. This, by the way, the reason I do this in the fall, there's a very specific purpose that I do it before the holidays. Aside from obviously the fall foliage, that is a gorgeous and cool time of year. But at the end of the day, I want you to really think about how differently would the end of the year go if you showed up as your very best self. Instead of bulldozing through the holidays and our to do list and just getting through the holidays versus navigating it through with a sense of calm and peace. You're more focused. You have more connection with your family when you show up as your best self. I don't know about you, but especially when my kids were younger, but even when the teenage years came around, or life brought its sense of stress, I always wished. And I always tell my husband, I'm like, one of these days, I am just going to like rent a hotel room for a day or for a weekend just to like disconnect. How many times have we all wished for a timeout from our busy lives? This is your chance to lock that in by the end of the year. This is your chance. So, what exactly is included? We are, like I mentioned, all these things are included. Right now, we are running our early bird special, our discount. It's $500 savings, and that is a one payment of $1,500. And that expires March 1st. Our regular price for our retreat is $2,100, or four installments of $550. But if you lock it in, you save $500. It is a one payment of $1,500. How differently, I go back to how differently would you close this year out by attending this retreat and by having that sense of clarity and locking that in now? I am so grateful that you are here, that you joined us for this information session. I am so excited. I am not exaggerating when I say this is my favorite time of year, this retreat, and I want that for you. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can email me. You can send me an Instagram, message, or text message me. I am around, and in the meantime, I can't wait to see you there around the campfire along with us. Have an amazing day.